Alright guys, welcome back to QuakeCon. And we're going to be seeing Cooler versus ZeRo4 very, very shortly. But joining me here today, and actually for the entire week, we have him kind of pinned down here.
I've been kidnapped. Send food.
We've got two good on set. How are you?
Yeah, doing really well. Just watching ZeRo4 at the moment in one server, watching Cooler on the other server.
Yep.
But I do know, we're just kicking off QuakeCon today, and as always, QuakeCon is notoriously famous for fantastic games and also fantastic technical hiccups. And I do believe that we might already have our first technical hiccup with some buzzing on the sound, so I do apologise if you're listening at home and we do sound a little bit robotic at the moment. We've got some people working on that,
That's okay.
but hopefully everybody in the audience can hear us fine, which I'm sure is what is happening right now. But of course, as that gets sorted and you can put up for it for just a little moment, the guys over at QuakeCon TV will fix, but we've got the match to talk about, which is obviously ZeRo4 versus Cooler. I think a fantastic kind of very nostalgic match to start with, especially since the history that we've seen in all the Quakes, especially Quake 3. It's really been, these two have been big key figures in creating that history, and once again we have them here at QuakeCon in 2011. They're going to play, and obviously there's a massive favourite for Cooler, with his DreamHack second place, and also the fact that ZeRo4, we haven't seen him at a tournament for like 3 years, really. So I don't know what the American's going to do here.
There's a lot of history with ZeRo4, but as you mentioned, he hasn't quite really taken it to that level with the current tournaments. And Cooler, of course, has just been so very consistent. In fact, if you rewind 1 year, he took second place right here at this event, and so he's got a lot to bring to this. I mean, with these invited players, just the fact that they got invited means that they have a long, storied past, and every single one of them has been through so much to get here, and these guys, obviously, no exception.
Yeah, especially the Australians.
Yes.
In particular, Noctis.
We got Zealer on deck, actually.
And Noctis. Yeah, but definitely, a lot of fantastic players here, so it's going to be really good. As you said, 24 players. We're going to have 6 groups of 4. You can check out the groups online, obviously. I obviously know where, but I'm not going to tell you guys. You guys can go find out for yourself.
Google.
Yeah. And it's all part of the game. It's hide and seek, a QuakeCon stream. But yeah, so I particularly, as you said, like Cooler got second last year here at QuakeCon. I think that he really wants to win a tournament. More so, that's an obvious statement. He really wants to win a tournament, but more so than he has in so long, because every time he's got so close now with the second place here, second place at DreamHack. He's made finals as well. I think the Intel Extreme Masters. I'm not sure if it was like the World Finals or where he made his finals, but he didn't play his best game when I spoke to him afterwards, and he lost. So he's kind of like just really been almost.
Yes.
And I think that, if Cooler can win this, it's really going to be like one of the biggest things that he's going to like enjoy in Quake, and especially Quake Live, if he can do this. But ZeRo4 on the other hand, we have to see what form he's in, and that's going to be interesting enough just to watch the first game.
Absolutely. And I'm getting some guys in my ear right now. Hopefully those audio issues will be worked out very shortly, but actually we're going to get working on corralling these players, getting them into the server, making sure we're there with them. Cooler's actually in the server with Rafa at the moment.
Yeah, so the admin's doing a fantastic job backstage, as always.
Yes.
And I'm just going to look for these guys as well. So unfortunately we won't be able to message Cooler or Rafa.
Right.
Okay, so we're playing a game of Connect the Players right now. So hopefully
they're actually playing right now, but I think I'm gonna butt in and go, yo.
Well, we were told everything was starting at 2 o'clock, and I'm sure they were told as well. If you want to check your time, it's 2 minutes past 2
yes.
and 26 seconds.
Hey, you know what?
I can keep you updated. That's what we can do here. We can give you live time.
With the notoriety you were mentioning earlier, this is not bad. I'm actually rather enjoying this.
What are you enjoying?
The fact that we're 2 minutes past and we're looking for players, and we're online, we're on air, we've got water, we've got desks, we have tables, we have chairs. I mean, what is there to complain about?
America, you're
we have no spinny logo, actually.
I think we should bring it back.
We should. I mean, we should probably let it retire after a year or so, but it'll make a comeback, like ZeRo4, hopefully.
Yep, but Steve Huff will obviously go backstage now and tell Cooler and Rafa to get on the same server together. And
Yes.
he was already walking off to do that before I mentioned that. That's why I noted it. Because unfortunately, unless we had him on our friends list, we wouldn't be able to give him a message.
Right.
Because they're actually in game and they won't be able to see our chat. So we shall wait. But right now, you know, Kudo's actually 1-0 up versus Rafa just in his practice game, so you can at least see some form. And once Steve Huff gets back there, this game will halt, and then we'll bring in ZeRo4, and we'll see if he bought his own body bag.
So obviously things are just kicking off as far as group stages go, and I believe you've had a chance to look at the groups. There's been a lot of talk over what the usual death group would be, and there are some very difficult ones, especially for some of the up-and-comers who kind of have to prove themselves at this event. We've had a very special player come up from South America, actually, and this will be his first big outing as far as this goes. But what are your opinions on the groups here so far?
They all look really good. I'm particularly interested to see Strengths square off versus Toxic. That one for me is really going to be something special, because Toxic back, Toxic coming back, if you watch StarCraft 2, it's kind of like Boxer returning, into StarCraft when he left, his StarCraft 2 when he left his StarCraft, Brood War behind. He's really just like, pushes the game to limits that people don't know you can do, especially with aim.
Absolutely.
So it's like he has by far, I think, the best overall aim. Strengths as well, though. People have said he was the best aimer, until Toxic came back. People might be undecided on who can aim better between the two, but that's why we're here. That's why we're here at QuakeCon. So, but we also know that Strengths, if anyone's a fan of Strengths from Fnatic, he has been boot camping with Cypher and also Avik. So he's looking really good. So I'm not sure how well Toxic's going to do. I'm hoping for a finals with Toxic, but we'll find out.
Absolutely. Okay, and again, we're still corralling the players. As Too Good mentioned, we can't directly chat with them all that well.
Yep, and but Rafa knows that
there we go.
Left,
there we go. Have to play. GG's. Okay, so 5 minutes, we're doing quite well. This is good.
Yep, but we're here all day. We're here all day, and we're going to cover as many matches as possible. And we've got some really great matches coming up, including the Strength versus Toxic match. I do believe that's going to be the third match played.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what the second game is, but of course we do know the first game is now actually going to happen, and it will be Cooler versus ZeRo4.
We couldn't ask for anything better. ZeRo4 has hopped in the server, and we've already got map picks.
Yep.
Okay. And we're actually going to be going over to Toxicity first map, and map picks have already been done. For those of you who don't know, it's a drop pick with high C getting first drop. Very simple, very standard.
Yep, so Toxicity is going to be the first map, and you can actually see it there on your screens now. This map is quite hard to play defensively. It's a very fast map. Spardy says it's a little bit rail heavy. There's one Mega, which is on the platform. You can just see ZeRo4 shoot through there. So getting that can be sometimes tricky, but there's a lot of jumps you can do to it. And of course, there's 2 yellows and a red armor as well. There's a few teleporters, but of course these players are very much now used to the map. It's actually used to be in Quake 3. And actually Noctis used to play this before anyone else. So that's, he did have a heads up, but Noctis not actually really practicing for the duel here. And, yep.
Enable respawn time at 1.
We'll have to see if we can get the enable respawn timers.
Yeah, just tab complete. You think I could type that all by myself, all by my lonesome? But yeah, as you said, this map, Toxicity, very, very fast-paced. One of my favorite elements of level design, especially in Quake, is just how risky it is to go for those really, high payoff items like red armor and mega health. And this map really enforces that. Red armor down below behind a few crates, you're literally stuck. You have to do a 180 to get back out of there. And you've got some options as far as getting back up to another tier. But anybody from across the map, they could be tossing out rails, grenades, rockets, and it looks like they're readying up. So
here we go.
Here we go.
Map first game then of QuakeCon 2011, and it is going to be Cooler from Russia versus ZeRo4, and we're going to be in Toxicity, and already Cooler has got the red armor spawn, and we don't actually have the respawn timers working. This might be because the servers aren't private, because we actually have a LAN server here, so do apologize if you can't see where the items are actually popping up on the left-hand side. We'll see if we can get these guys moved over to some private servers a little bit later, but otherwise I'll just do it all in my head. Why not?
Why not?
I'll seize the end.
Alright, so first up, we have our first little bout coming up here at red armor. Cooler's going to be taking some flak, going for the grab. Knocked down to about 22 health, but he's looking for ZeRo4 to be looking for that follow-up attack, so he's trying to sneak back around. This yellow armor, very important on recovery. But ZeRo4 is pushing it in, and pushing a little too far. Got the first frag, just barely, but that'll be Cooler up by 1.
Yeah, but that's a big frag as well. I mean, ZeRo4 there having to scramble to get the railgun, but gets hit by 2 rockets and won't be able to escape. And there's Cooler on another red armor. He looks like he's taking away the LG. Might try and challenge to take this yellow armor here, and he has got in a position to take it. He knows that ZeRo4's moved away. Actually, no, ZeRo4 stayed and he wants to spam rockets. Now he's going to go and get himself a railgun. So ZeRo4 really back up against the wall with a railgun versus Cooler. Mega's going to be spawning real soon, and that's where Cooler's waiting for it, just off to his right there. And ZeRo4, is he going to challenge? I think it could be a nice option, but really, he's actually going to look to take the red, and that's a really good move by ZeRo4, but well done by Cooler. Actually keeping in a position between the Mega and the red, waiting for ZeRo4 to make his move, and then punished the red armor pickup and got the Mega. So well done by Cooler. He's easily ahead, about 150 total power up when the health and Mega together, and he's just looking to do some damage, and I'm sure after this red armor, if he wanted to get it, he's going to push and probably get himself a kill.
Yeah, and that platform he was sitting on waiting for that red armor, a very, very nice place to be. There's another frag up for Cooler, and he's been playing this thing very, very conservatively, knowing that Mega Health was going to be coming up about the same time as red armor, meant that he could do damage, back off, and get a really large stack. And in this map, everything is so risky, everything is so fast and tight. Anytime you can pull away a Mega Health or even a yellow armor without getting punished for it, without getting challenged for it, is quite an advantage.
Yeah, we got ZeRo4 though with a decent amount of weapons now. He's got the rocket, LG, and rail, and he's just sniping, but I don't think he's actually hit any railguns at all. He's actually got 14%, so he's maybe hit like 1 or 2 in the whole game. He's now down to 12% as Cooler lands another one onto ZeRo4. There's one, and not going to affect Cooler too much, but will create an opportunity here. ZeRo4 looking to get some damage, but Cooler takes the armor and escapes. And ZeRo4 now set up for the Mega, but both players are even now. This is really important. Cooler definitely not going to take the next frag easy, and in fact ZeRo4 could take this one. This is a really important joust down by the red armor.
But he needs to hit those rails, and we've seen several just splash harmlessly onto the floor. So Cooler's able to make his escape, head back up towards upper yellow armor, and there's the grab. We're finally seeing a little bit of damage, but ZeRo4 is now in a place where he kind of has to back off, throw some rockets around some corners, and hope he takes something out of Cooler, because right now, Cooler's just striding through the map like an 800-pound gorilla.
Yeah, no, ZeRo4 lost all his armor. He's only down to like 73 health. Mega's up on his spawn point. ZeRo4 actually gets it. I do not know why Cooler did not go for that. He actually went away from Mega, maybe looking to kind of catch his opponent out with an easy frag and then go back and claim it. But ZeRo4 gets the Mega, gets to red. Cooler doing a little bit of charity here over in Dallas, Texas, but still hits a really good LG. Picks up another frag. His LG's a pretty horrible accuracy actually, but still got the frag on that one. That was a decent amount of LG that connected. And once again, ZeRo4 on the back foot, but not a fast game of Toxicity. Actually, only 4 frags. So definitely for the first game of the tournament, they are feeling each other, game out. I'm happy I put the word game into that sentence. So we'll have to see how they go on to the next map. But Cooler gets himself another easy frag. LG versus LG. Anybody, if you ever see a player take an LG versus LG fight, it means they're happy to trade, like very steady health and damage. But I'm not sure that was a good move by ZeRo4 to do that unless he had a good follow-up plan. But, at the same time, if you trade a good LG and you get someone low, that's when you get your counter frag, and with a 6-0 down, ZeRo4 will definitely be looking to go a little bit aggressive, and that's exactly what he's doing here.
Absolutely, and ZeRo4 was able to have a position where he could actually try to go for more yellows and be a little bit more aggressive on the items, just because Cooler had taken enough damage to have to worry about getting his stack back up in tip-top. So he was going to be as aggressive on those items. So ZeRo4, let's see what he's working with. He's got 130 health, very little armor to work with, but again, the hits from Cooler are just so consistent.
Whoa,
but there's ZeRo4 getting on the board, grabbing away a red armor as well, and we're going to have to see what kind of momentum he can carry through and what kind of pressure he can put on Cooler here. I mean, this is the first time we've seen him in this game where he has a bit of stat control to his name, so we need to see him in that aggressive seat.
And ZeRo4's been, I'm not sure if he actually did boot camp, but he's definitely, with the Americans, he's definitely a player that has been able to like practice versus the Americans, knows how to control the Americans, and even now you can see that he's very confident just to take that LG fight, just to get the kill. He's got himself a Mega, so as long as he keeps his eye on the other armors and keeps his eye on Cooler's position, he's looking to take the yellow here. Cooler's already got the red, sorry, so Cooler is up to 100. Cooler's actually looking for an additional yellow to go up to 150, which will give him a large enough stack to kind of push for the next red, and also, of course, Mega. And at the moment, just want to give you a quick update. We are going to be adjusting the volumes, and you know, I do apologise that there wasn't sound checks prior to this.
That's all right.
But you know,
we can do that on the fly. We'll just do it live.
Yeah, we'll just do it live. Why not? It's QuakeCon. Did you expect anything else?
No, never. But we had a bit of a tussle over Mega Health, but it was taken away fairly clean. But Cooler got away with a bit more there. I mean, he's able to get a bit. Oh, and we have rockets coming out of the corner. ZeRo4 laying in his LG and pulling up that third frag. Down to 90 health, but there's a free red armor to boot. And Cooler's going very aggressive right off the spawn, but ZeRo4 landing that face rocket, that's going to take a lot of the fight out of Cooler. He's got to find a way to back out of the situation cleanly, and I don't see that happening, to be honest.
Yeah, and ZeRo4 very nicely done, trying to do the damage without taking any, because he knows that if he took too much damage, he could have got taken off that yellow, but because he took his time, made Cooler kind of like stay in that corner. After he got the kill, there was only a couple of seconds for the yellow armor to come out, so nicely done, but of course now could have lost out on the red, and he actually did lose out on the red there. A bit unfortunate for ZeRo4. Nice fight for ZeRo4, but unlucky that Cooler got such a good LG on the final shot of the rocket. That could have been his kill, and he's only within 2 frags though of coming back, but Cooler needs something more to his name than just his LG and rocket. And you can even see his positioning here, very defensive, looking to exit the room, and he's going to have to leave that. I don't even know if he's going to get on this red. There it is, very lucky to do so, so well played by Cooler.
Yeah, the time is getting tense for both of these players, and you can see it affecting their movement a little bit here. We're seeing Cooler, you know, going back to being very conservative with his movement, wanting to spam off those rockets. ZeRo4 is feeling the pressure. He's trying to bring a bit more aggression to the table. But Cooler so far has been able to respond to that very well. Very nice move over there.
Yeah, no, ZeRo4 has done some crucial damage, and he knows he's going to attack now. Cooler, even if he gets the red, it's not going to matter. ZeRo4's railgun and about 2 seconds of LG gave him all he needed to know that if you go take this red, I'm still going to kill you. And now we've got a 1-point game with, you know, the absolutely legendary American player. One of, you know, he was definitely one of the world's best for a period of time back in Quake 3 versus, you know, Cooler, which was actually the man to dethrone him from that title back in Quake 3 when he was very young. But right now, ZeRo4 looking to do what he can do again. That's a really important railgun, but he's got to be careful. Can't eat too much damage. He wants to extend himself to get the kill, and there it is! A jumps across with LG out.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Mega time, but he thinks it will be up a little bit sooner than it was. He's actually going to go back to the yellow armor, which was up prior. Got to worry about Cooler having a railgun, because that was always an open weapon, and Cooler obviously should be going for the red, as ZeRo4 takes the Megas, and Cooler has got the red and a yellow, so we do have a very even game. The next frag is probably going to decide the first map of QuakeCon here between these 2 titans of Quake.
And of course, ZeRo4 got a lot going for him when he got that Mega Health, but Cooler getting that red, that trade-off happening when things are tied up, this makes it very tense for both players. And again, we've got 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. Things are all tied up, and this is our first game, our first map of QuakeCon 2011. It couldn't get any better than this. ZeRo4 up top, gonna be looking for that Mega. He's actually got fairly good timing on it, and there's no challenge from Cooler. And actually, ZeRo4, is he entirely sure where Cooler is? There it is. There's the LG coming out.
I'm not sure if Cooler
Beautiful.
And he stood his ground, and he's gone down, but he did take the... I'm pretty sure he might have took the yellow just before he died. Missed the railgun shot, and we've got under a minute to go. We're in our last 40 seconds, 10-minute timer. And yeah, Cooler with just a railgun right now.
He has to frag within these 30 seconds. He's got no real armor to work with. He's got a good position on this red armor. He's trying to bait it out. But, you know, if he decides, hey, I'm taking too much time, I can go grab YA. And it's a good thing he did, because he ate that rail back down, and actually back up to 100 health. But we have less than 20 seconds here.
Yeah,
and Cooler has to make this happen.
It might be a little bit too much for Cooler now. He's missed some opportunities, unfortunately. I think ZeRo4 hitting that railgun back onto Cooler sent him away. Cooler going to look to kind of be over by the red armor area, but he's not going to find ZeRo4, and Cooler already knows after that unfortunate counter railgun, he is going to go down, and ZeRo4 going to take the first map versus Cooler. With a 28% accuracy over Cooler's 22, the damage is about the same, so really evenly played, and that obviously shows in the score. But what a fantastic finish to our first match, and Cooler a little bit unfortunate hit his trap right at the end at red armor. Yeah. He almost took like a really impressive rail from ZeRo4, because that put him down to 69 health. Which is, if you get hit once more, you would obviously die from a railgun. They do 80 damage, which basically meant that he couldn't challenge. And as soon as he lost that opportunity, and he couldn't get in on the mega, because he got shunted away, that was it. Yeah. He knew it. ZeRo4 was never going to give it up.
Like, he had to make damage happen without taking any himself. And ZeRo4 knew that. He said, okay, I don't need to initiate a fight. I could just wait this thing out and take it. And there it is. But a lot of people have been saying that ZeRo4 is maybe a bit more comfortable with Toxicity due to its history. This is a newer map for Quake Live, and so we've got a bit of a old school, new school thing coming in here.
Well, in terms of how people, how much map time they put in, I mean, Cooler's obviously put so much map time into this map that it's probably going to show massively. But of course, if you're a ZeRo4 fan, we'll see what he can do. And of course, now I'm quite happy I'm casting a map I actually know about, as opposed to just pretending I knew what I was talking about on Toxicity. So here we go, we are going to be live, and both players are going to be getting that mega spawn. Cooler's going to leave the room first, as he didn't get the mega, going to get the red and the yellow, and a railgun in hand as well. I'm just going to switch over to ZeRo4. He hasn't got a railgun currently, and that's a really nice weapon to have for the second spawn of items. It allows you to do some damage from afar. But instead, he's looking to kind of hold this top area. This is going to try and stop Cooler from coming in. He did connect with that rocket, and he's going to drop for the red. Once he takes that, he's going to have to take the health. He's going to go for the railgun, of course, but he is going to be maybe too late to attack the mega. We have to see. Good grenades. Cooler's going to stop him. Mega's taken from Cooler, and we're still at a very even game. But what's going to be important now is how is ZeRo4 going to handle this red armor, next red armor, if he wants it. And Cooler's probably already in there to do, he's already dived in. I think ZeRo4 is going to leave, and wisely so. We're probably going to see a 0-0 score for another good 30 seconds until the next mega comes up.
Alright, ZeRo4 was actually trading positions there, but he didn't quite make the hit happen, so we're going to be having Cooler heading back through top teleporter, making a few hits happen with rail without taking anything in return. There's the grab for Mega, and with red armor coming up before too long, ZeRo4 has got to make this setup. I mean, you can see he's kind of hiding out, wanting to do some damage on the drop down with rockets, but there it is. Rockets being traded off here. There's the red armor grab. ZeRo4 trying to back up towards a shoddy. Yeah, Cooler's willing to stick this out. He says, all right, I've got enough to work with. I've got enough position to work with. I can make this stick a little bit more. And there it is. Wow. ZeRo4 taking 2 more rails, 1 more, and he's down. This yellow armor can't even grab it. There's the first frag up for Cooler.
Yeah, but that's not an easy frag that he just got. I mean, those 2 rails are pretty much pivotal to getting that frag. Otherwise, it just might not have happened at all. And look at that railgun shot. ZeRo4 takes one in the side as he gets pushed off onto the lower levels of the red armor by the pillars. He's going to have to back out. Did get the red though, and that's all that was important. So that railgun doesn't actually matter at all. It's just absorbed some of the health around the map. What have we got to look at once more? Red armor should be spawning about the same time as Mega. It's probably going to be up just before Mega. And Cooler actually catching ZeRo4 out. Cooler should really be at this red. I'm not sure about giving it up to ZeRo4, but he's more interested in taking the yellow, taking a clean Mega, and then maybe taking the next red with a bigger stack. But he's actually just fallen off his ledge. He's lucky that ZeRo4 hasn't come in and railed him. And Cooler needs to get aggressive on this red. He's got... if he takes this red, basically he's 100 power up more than ZeRo4, and ZeRo4 can only play with Mega, so ZeRo4 should be looking to do damage on red, but he's out of position as well. He's only just heard the red armor pickup, and he's going to be spamming the teleporter entrance. Cooler hears it, and this is going to be a pretty crucial fight for this Mega. I don't think ZeRo4 is going to give it up, but
Absolutely. I mean, right now, ZeRo4 can't afford to really stick his foot into it too much. But again, Cooler is just throwing these out there. But ZeRo4 is having to back off. He's having to go, okay, I could take a rail or two, but then I need to leave. That means that the actual pickup of Mega is going to be fairly clean for Cooler. So he hasn't lost all that much. But, ZeRo4 changing his position on the drop down for Red and actually gets a little too excited with his plasma there. It's going to drop him down to -1.
Yeah, so 1 to -1 here on the Furious Height.
That wasn't a bad plan, though. He shifted his drop-down angle.
He could have done so much more, though. That's the problem. Like, he gave away the red, but he wasn't ready to look for a railgun shot. Imagine if you hit a railgun. And then imagine if you timed your plasma properly on the teleporter exit rather than spamming it a little bit too early. He could have done some additional damage. He could have won, like, you know, he could have won Mega and won that fight and then won red. But unfortunately, you know, he's a little bit off. And so by doing so, Cooler had an easy run to take both items. And despite ZeRo4's fantastic plasma gun, you know, on a running target, which is quite easy to hit when they're just jumping at you, you know, he did a lot of damage, but it just wasn't enough. And you can't afford to give up those kind of frags, especially not versus Cooler on a map that he obviously feels way more comfortable on. And you can already see another railgun shot. ZeRo4 down to about 120 health and armor total, as opposed to Cooler's quick math. Wait for it. Lots of health and armor total. There we go.
Lots. Exactly. So we're nearing up on the halfway point, and it's a relatively low-scoring game for Furious Heights, but 1 on -1. Cooler has been in charge of this thing since minute 1. ZeRo4 dropping in for a bit of rockets, and the damage was nice, but it was traded off. And again, we see ZeRo4 with his back turned against Cooler. It's always frustrating when you catch your opponent off guard, and they have no idea that you're there, and you have the drop on them, but you just don't get the damage that you expect out of that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think he did more damage, quite a bit of damage to Cooler, actually. Cooler, after the red armor pickup, only had 130 armor, so ZeRo4 has definitely got himself up to, you know, between the 50 and 100 armor from the yellow armor and shards. What ZeRo4 needs to do now is play really smart on this red, and he can do some damage. You know, he's looking to leave the room. Cooler rails him. That's bad news, but he could actually back around and jump on the red. Doesn't do so, smartly so, because Cooler was down there. Cooler, this is nice. This is really good for ZeRo4, even if he got hit there, because it's delayed Cooler just a little bit into this Mega room that hasn't given Cooler the position he wants, which is to be up top on the Mega, which is why you can see Cooler actually doing a rocket jump up, not making it so easy to ZeRo4 to land easy damage. But either way, ZeRo4 not going to be able to do anything, has to leave, takes the yellow over by the railgun pit, and really, it's looking pretty grim for ZeRo4.
Not even counting the score, I mean, Cooler has been so in charge of this. Like, even the opening second red armor, he didn't even challenge for it, just got that single rail and left. And ZeRo4 has been trying to find the same way to kind of just do some poke damage and leave the room, but his timing has been a little bit off on these things, and even though it's been a little bit unexpected on Cooler every once in a while, it's just not consistent enough. So Cooler's been able to, you know, get back up on the stack almost at whim. So here comes another rail. There's a grab from Mega, and the rail on Mega's actually grabbed. It's not going to be very good for ZeRo4. He's going to be looking for a way back over towards red. There's the drop down, and a grab actually. That's actually a pretty big pickup for him. Now we have to see what he does with it. Yeah,
he was always going to get that eventually with the timings of Mega and Red getting closer and closer between the pickups. So, you know, that's the Red that really he needs to use to change the game. And he's already hitting a slightly better LG than Cooler. Misses the railgun, but nice dodging, but then gets hit. And now he's got to, you know, leave. You've got to leave ZeRo4. I mean, he's actually staying here. Despite red armor's up, I think he could have left, got red, but he stayed, got the Mega. I personally think that's, you know, in favor of Cooler, since he can deny the yellow, and he's already like smart enough not to jump on yellow. Cooler goes through teleporter, does some damage, and now, despite having that Mega, it's ticking away, and he's not going to be able to use it. By the time, you know, even at red here, it's not going to mean much. So let's see if he can do something really good. He's going to have to pull something amazing out.
Cooler again, playing it fairly conservatively when, you know, he doesn't have to rush down and drop down for that attack. So just dropping in a few grenades, a few token hits. It's not going to be too much, but it's going to be enough to not really give ZeRo4 all that much to work with. Cooler once again backing off here where we got YA coming back up.
But Cooler showed way too much respect to ZeRo4 in that situation. He should have destroyed him. Personally, I think he should have gone in.
He's not greedy.
He's not greedy. But still, you know, ZeRo4 is getting healthy. Look at him now. He's 180, 190. This is ZeRo4's frag. It doesn't matter, Cooler.
Wow.
You can go up the jump pad, but eventually you will be chased. You will be run down. And one more shot will do it. And there's the LG after a clean rocket. And ZeRo4 is on another comeback. Red armor's about to spawn, I'm sure of it. And we don't have the timer, but ZeRo4's like, please give me red, and you know, even I got confused on that, and it must have there it is, So thank God, you know, Cooler.
But that's actually significant.
Yeah, and it's massive. You know,
it gives Cooler time to grab yellow. It gives him time to set up a position, and it robs time. But that being said, we have less than 2 minutes, and it's only 1 frag away. And ZeRo4 taking the first map after a comeback. We could see the same sort of thing happening, but Cooler, with a ton of LG, is going to be taking that frag, taking that control right on back. Again, the timing of red armor is not perfect for these guys. ZeRo4 knows it, wants to bring it back, does a bit of damage, but still loses the frag, still loses the red armor, and that's actually the timing of that red armor coming up. It's all there.
That was all Cooler. I mean, like, Cooler only had LG and rocket launcher, and he just like busted through the top middle doors. He came up with LG, nice dodging. ZeRo4 was taken back a bit about the initial damage. He tried to dodge away, shoot some rockets, but his defensive rockets were a bad decision. ZeRo4 have just gone, yeah, sure, you know, great LG, mate, but this is what a rocket launcher looks like. And actually just gone aggressive, and he probably would have hit a really good first rocket, flicked, and got the kill quite easily. But instead, he played too defensive, and you know, and the only advantage gun he had was a railgun, but that's not good in that situation. So I think ZeRo4 should have been way more careful about Cooler coming through those front doors, and because he wasn't, Cooler's won. That's it, you know, that's going to be map 2. Doesn't matter, 30 seconds, but I've got to say that Toxicity was ZeRo4's lifeline, and at the same time, still a fantastic game of you know, Furious Heights. So by no means, whatever the last map will be, by no means is it anyone's easy map. I'm just really happy to see 3 maps between these 2. But I think Cooler, you know, showed a little bit too much respect, you know, for most of the game, but right at the end he had like no respect, and that was a very nice move because of it.
All right, guys, but we are going to be going into a tiebreaker for the very first match of QuakeCon. I think it's a very good start to have. Cooler taking this thing 6-4. 48% railgun accuracy, not too shabby at all. And again, those rails were really securing him a lot of those item grabs and a lot of just keeping ZeRo4, you know, well clear. And that's what Cooler wanted. He wanted some space. He wanted to kind of, you know, enjoy the sights around the map and not worry about too much else.
Yeah, but what I got to say about the railgun as well was that arrow walk. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. And I actually think ZeRo4 is going to be, like, you know, traditionally, I think the better arrow walk player. Well,
ZeRo4 came back into the game when this map was added to Quake Live. That is...
But let me just say something about the railguns from the previous map. ZeRo4 only hit 6, Cooler hit way more. The reason was ZeRo4 really bad positioning to actually do some damage on his opponent. Cooler way more knowledgeable, way better positioning, landed, you know, better railguns because of it. Apart from the 2 lucky railguns, weren't lucky, but 2 awesome railguns over by the Mega. But here we go, we're already in. ZeRo4 picks up the first frag on Cooler as he tries to rocket jump up to red. And just to tell you a little bit about Arrow Walk, if you're not familiar, very, very fast map. You've got these green armors that are 25. You've got 1 yellow armor, which is 50, 1 red armor, which is 100, and 1 mega. And that's, you know, it sounds like it's a lot, but it's not much when you're in a pit of death. You know, this map is so smooth that you will have to constantly be aware of every angle that you can have a dangerous railgun shot from. You know, spam rockets, spam grenades, and then you've also got, you know, really fast players coming out of teleporters or down stairs, you know, that can, you know, get in your face with an LG, which is pretty much what won Cooler on the last map. So let's just get back into the game as ZeRo4 hits a nice railgun shot and hits a second, and that's going to set him up to take the red, but he's still got to push Cooler away as he spams grenades. Cooler didn't want this to happen. He is going to go down, but he did trade a lot of damage, and we have to ask now who's going to be ready for this mega, and it looks like ZeRo4's on it, but there's one crucial railgun. One more would do it.
And one would initially suspect that Cooler's entry into the red armor was a little eager, but look at this. I mean, ZeRo4 is now in a position where he has 22 health. He had to back up, but look at this save. Taking the mega back away. Cooler for maybe the first time we've seen today, getting a little bit too aggressive.
Well, I think he had to go for it, but it was more ZeRo4 going through the teleporter and picking up a perfect angle with an LG. Had you stayed down the bottom, you would have never got Cooler off that. And Cooler exchanging damage over by the top where the red armor was because he knows on this map you do not just give free items up.
Right.
You have to exchange damage, and you know that's why we've already got 3 frags in the first just minute and 50 seconds, which is still a little slow for the amount of damage that has occurred. And looks like Cooler finding some pace.
Well, look at what ZeRo4 has done with it. Now, I mean,
Wow.
Cooler, by diving in for that Mega, has given him the opportunity to stack back up and kind of carry that momentum forward. And again, Arrow Walk is very, very momentum heavy. Like, you're going to be fighting for items or, fighting to keep items away. And right now, 2 minutes in, ZeRo4 once again on top of Red Armor, and Cooler blasting up the stairs with that LG. It's going to be doing a ton of damage against ZeRo4. He's down to 17 health. And the timing on the Red Armor, okay, just a few seconds there.
He's got to be careful. Luckily for him, ZeRo4 hadn't gone through the teleporter to get a railgun yet. He hasn't even got it yet. So these 25s that Cooler's are picking up, very, very nicely done. We are going to try and enable timers for you now. I do believe that id Software actually jumped on the server for a moment, and they might have hit some secret balance. So we'll see if we can get some timers up, and there they are.
Yep.
And I'm going to bring mine up as well as we go for a 3-2 score.
Alright, but Cooler's actually delaying on this Red Armor. He's very, very low on health at that moment. The 50 health was more important, because you know that ZeRo4 is going to be wanting to do damage on that Red Armor. You're exactly right. This is not a map where you give away any free items. But this is what the delaying is dangerous for. He knows that ZeRo4 is going to be needing to go for that Mega very shortly, so that trade-off actually helps Cooler circle around the map a bit more, get some health going, pick up some 25s. But that means that these guys are much more even than they were a minute ago. I mean, that's great for Cooler. He's supposed to come back from the bottom of this thing. But that was a very, very wise decision. We're going to have to see how it plays into the positioning for the next Red Armor. Right now, Cooler's going to have to come up the stairs. ZeRo4 giving it away. He can come back around still, but he's content to toss off grenades. That's going to cost him a bit of time. He's not making the hits, and actually he's taking damage from Cooler. That last rocket bounce is actually going to be very dangerous, leaving him with nothing. That'll tie it up.
Yep, no, really nice dump from Cooler. He's even got the Mega as well, giving away the yellow, but it doesn't matter, and he's going to be able to control the map a little bit. He's got to be concerned about the LG pickup here, but even if he goes head-to-head, he should win, and he has done with 64 health remaining, and of course you will spawn with 125 health. That's why it's always, some people can estimate attacking a player that's just spawned incorrectly, but Cooler knew what he could do. He took the frag. He has given away a yellow, but he's still a little bit healthier until now. That LG was, that railgun shot was crucial, but ZeRo4 wasn't ready for Cooler just to stand his ground. So fantastically with that LG and picked up another kill, and that's a frag that ZeRo4 maybe can't afford in this tiebreaker map. Red Armor up. And ZeRo4 will have a railgun, and he's looking to do some damage, does hit it. But of course that yellow armor is where ZeRo4 wants, and he is going to hit another railgun shot and get the yellow, so ZeRo4 definitely has a chance to come back in this one. He just needs to hold this Mega strong and do some damage at the red, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's in position to take the Mega and to do some damage. There's the Mega.
Cooler didn't even show up there. I mean, he was looking for the timing on the Red Armor. That could cost beautiful pop-up. And look at this, the best part of all, Red Armor's still up, it's still available for him, and that'll put ZeRo4 back in full position here. But again, Cooler's rails, he's always been able to put himself in a great position to just take that stack down. ZeRo4 retaliating with a bit of LG, but now he knows he's got to, cover his head a bit more.
Yeah, ZeRo4 looking to kind of close up another frag here. Just needs to hit one good railgun shot and then follow up. Unfortunately, he did get shunted away. Cooler could actually make an attack here on the red, and he's got to be careful about that. Takes a rocket to railgun. Beautiful rocket to railgun as it connects with the stairs, and Cooler extends his lead once again. 3 frags the difference. ZeRo4 was definitely on a comeback trail there. He was definitely doing all the right moves to get back in, apart from just not expecting Cooler to hit such great shots. And very unfortunate as Cooler now extends his lead to 5.
That was actually a really good move by Cooler. He didn't immediately go for the Red Armor room and try to hold that down and potentially give up some stack when ZeRo4 tried to challenge. But he kind of circled it around, waited for ZeRo4 to get there first so that he could be turning those tables. And now it's a great payoff. We've got 4 minutes left, 9-4. We've seen these guys, go back and forth. But ZeRo4, other than grenade launcher, doesn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah, a lot of style there to hit the first grenade shot off the wall, but of course Cooler with even more style, just showing you how to stay cool and calm and dodge grenades. And there's another easy frag pickup despite eating another grenade. So still 11-4. I'm not going to call it over by any means, but ZeRo4 needs to take the wind out of Cooler's sails right now, and to do that he's going to have to get just some damage before the red's up, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. And he's using the rocket launcher. He's taking a little bit too much damage himself, but he is going to exchange it, and that's a fantastic exchange. Let's check the spawns. ZeRo4 getting Rocket, LG, and Rogan all off the same spawn. He's going to get the red as well, and he could not be happier with that situation. What a great trade-off there, knowing pretty much that he was either going to die or have a kill, but of course actually both happened. He can do something here. He can definitely come back with this frag difference, but taking a little bit too much damage, and he's not out of position for the Mega. He's going a little bit, that could have been dangerous, but of course now he's given up a red, so it's going to be even harder to get that next frag, Jehar.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, those spawns after the mutual frag, so very crucial. ZeRo4 getting that first rail, great. Didn't really have a lot of retaliation or a lot of covering of Cooler grabbing his own rail, and now we're starting to see some of that pain come through. Another great rocket. ZeRo4 has some really awesome clutch movement as far as, avoiding Cooler's damage. And we're going to have to see if he can pull up 7 frags in just over 2 minutes. That's a tall order.
It's not going to happen now, but I just want to recap the situation that ZeRo4 was in. He did enough damage on Cooler. When he sent him to red armor, he could have chased and killed. Originally, I thought to myself, don't chase. Like, get the Mega and then get to red. But Cooler spammed grenades to actually, stop an incoming attack to secure the red. So it actually would have been the smartest move if ZeRo4 just had a rocket launcher out, something that didn't make a noise, walk up towards red and gamble the game. Because had he gambled, he could have got the kill and actually have maybe made something happen. But what I've got to say now is, despite I thinking the game was absolutely over, there's still 4 frags of difference, and Cooler doesn't have much to his name apart from 1 yellow armor, which he hasn't even grabbed. He doesn't even have that, so he's so killable right now.
There we go.
And this has got to be a kill.
Oh my God!
Lucky to not get that, but still 4 frags may be too much to ask, despite some fantastic back-to-back frags. There it is, but he's very hurt here, ZeRo4, and he's playing very risky. But this is beautiful. He has to play risky to come back in this one. I would go up there and look for a railgun shot. I would just do it, because if he hits it, then he's in, and if he misses, then sure, he might not win, but either way, he's got to do it.
Alright, and there's another one. Now we're merely looking at 2 frags in the next minute. I mean, this is doable. And he did a fairly good recovery when going down that low on health. Now the matter is keeping the pressure on. Cooler knows that all he needs to do is turtle up, play defensively, but here he is at the 50 health. And actually, that was really smart of Cooler. It was not about the red armor there. It was about that 50 health. That's what he knew ZeRo4 needed.
Yeah, it was also the fact that ZeRo4 was slightly unlucky that the LG, he ran out of LG ammo. But also you saw Cooler when he took that fight with LG versus LG, he actually was standing on the 225 health bubbles, just saying I've got an additional 50 health here, I just haven't picked it up yet, so it doesn't matter the damage you do, I'll just get it in a moment. And that is going to be the difference between these 2 fantastic players, and it is going to be Cooler who is going to win. But of course, a little bit surprised that comeback even occurred. I'm not sure why Cooler wanted to play or give that one away, but either way, well done by ZeRo4, and definitely shown us already that he can play a free mapper versus QuakeCon 2nd place finisher, DreamHack 2nd place finisher, and this definitely means that we're expecting him to come out of this group and do some great things in the brackets.
Absolutely, but that being said, ZeRo4 looking like no slouch here so far. And as these players wake up a bit more, myself included, we're going to be seeing more out of these guys. But tell you what, we're going to be having a quick break here. We're going to be taking things down real quick to examine some of the audio issues. But we will be back very shortly.
Spinny Lugger.
Have fun.